Hi, I'm Shannon Benson at Heart of Texas Farms. My son and I have worked on growing the farm. We started with chickens and added cattle, and then he decided he wanted to do blackberries. So we've just been very busy trying to figure out how to make everything work together, have a symbiotic relationship.
When I built my first chicken coop, I was 14, and then I really loved the chickens, and then kept doing them and started selling eggs at the farmer's market, and then got a couple restaurants, and then started knocking on doors on retail stores, and a lot of people remember me from when I was younger, so the customers, I'll have them for life.
So the chickens, we use their layers, and we use those for sales. We sell them at restaurants, and we sell the eggs at small grocery stores around town, and Andrew is looking into possibly expanding from Waco to sell those eggs. Where the coops are now, the grass was pretty thin. It looked pretty bad. There's lots of weeds, just your general unkempt pasture. And then over the years, it's just really gotten green and thick and lush.
So I built the mobile chicken coops because when I move them across the pasture, they'll fertilize, and it's just better for the grass and keeps everything healthier.
And then our meat, I sell those cuts by the pound, and I also take extra to auction. My cattle herd has fluctuated. It's gone up and down, and right now I feel like it's a little low right now. I have less, but we're still working on the grass, waiting for that grass to come back that we've planted, the natives. And then once that increases, then we can increase our cattle herd. But the idea is to not ever have to bale.
We do a blackberry U-pick, so people come out and pick their own berries, and it starts in June. Once they start getting ripe in that whole month, they'll all be coming out.
So Andrew was working for a man in town who had a small blackberry orchard, and Andrew came home and said, "This is what I want to do." And then a few years later, he ordered some twigs from Arkansas, planted those in the ground, and hoped for the best. We didn't know anything at that point. We just hoped that they would take off. And then about 3 years into it, we opened it up to the public. I'd say our better year was about 250 pounds of blackberries. I really feel that if we hadn't talked with Cleet or some of the other men at NRCS, that we would not be where we are, because I had no idea what we were doing. With their expertise and knowledge, we were able to do, I think, what's best for the soil here and the animals.
My name is Cleet Vandenberg. I am the district conservationist with the USDA NRCS for McLennan County. It's located in Waco, Texas. We started out with the Bensons with a phone call asking about drainage issues that they were having with their blackberries. From there, it's kind of a snowball effect. We rode around on the entire farm. There was some down cross fences that were pretty old and dilapidated. That was the first indicator that, okay, this could be something we could go through our EQIP program to replace some of the old cross fencing and also put in new cross fencing for their rotational grazing. That started the conversation with livestock water. So we found a spot for the livestock pond, which was worked in with the EQIP program. And then we started talking about grasses. With the blackberries and with what they're wanting to do with just grazing and not haying, the pollinator mix and then the high density of native mix, being 12 species to be planted out here on not only 60 acres, but their additional 100 plus acres at the house, has been extremely beneficial to them with their rotation on their cattle operation.
With the help of the NRCS, we were able to figure out how to work the soil and make it green and wonderful, and bring in a lot of pollinators, bugs. I love to see the bugs and the bees and the butterflies flying around, and so I'm glad we're able to bring that back to the land.
The Heart of Texas work ethic is extremely contagious, especially when you come to the farm to visit. Just seeing them out on the farm, working and learning by doing is something that makes you feel good when you go back to the office.
So in the next 10 years, hopefully I'll have a system built where I have all kinds of mobile hoop houses, hopefully over 10,000 chickens, and I can be in, all retail. And I want, a lot of people all over Texas to be able to experience the eggs that we, produce here.
You can't stop Andrew. He built these chicken coops. He said, "I'm going to do this," and we said, "Okay." And with the help of his dad, they figured out how to build two. And he's only 20. I don't know where he's going to go next. Who knows? He wants to go bigger and better, and he's just figuring that out along the way.